Good evening, everyone. We warmly welcome you all to the third online webinar series, which is organized by the Academic Subcommittee of the Faculty of Applied Sciences in Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. The topic of the today's webinar is research tools, which is an important scope for most of the undergraduates. Here we will be discussing on how to use the most commonly used tools and softwares and how to use them in the preparation of research paper. The resource person for today's webinar is Professor R.M.K.T. Ratnayaka, and he is a senior lecturer attached to the Department of Physical Science and Technology, Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. So without any further delay, I would like to invite Professor Kapila Ratnayaka for the webinar. It's over to you, sir.
Okay, good evening, all of you. I think I can, you can audible me, no? Hello, Ashini?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. Thank you very much, all of you, especially Applied Sciences Student Union. And as an actual academic member, really appreciate your effort to improve, especially undergraduate students' research knowledge, research skills. Okay, so once again, I thank all of you on behalf of the faculty. Okay, so without taking much time, we'll start our workshop. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, so as Archini said, actually, the research is very important, not only for the academic life, but also for the postgraduate and other studies also. So the mainly under the research, the statistical contribution for the research is very important. So that's why today especially I am planning to discuss what type of advanced statistical techniques can be applied for especially undergraduate research projects. I know so most of them are first year, second year students here. So especially the applied science students after complete the first year and second year, after complete second year, they need to do mini projects. So also they need to do literature surveys. So then they need to do some final year research project. So that's why especially the statistical techniques, statistical tools, very important not only for the physical science student but also for the NR and FST as well as especially CIC students also. So I am planning, I know, so this is just a one and a half workshop, especially I am planning to do like this. So today I am going to explain what type of methods, what type of techniques we can apply for your research. Then, especially if you guys come in physically to the university, maybe we can arrange a real workshop, the physical workshop, and we can give some experience how to use statistical softwares by using real data sets. Okay, so anyway, without taking time, we'll go to the presentations. Okay, so as I told, mainly I'm planning to discuss statistical techniques, especially for our research. So mainly I am planning to discuss what type of things we are using under the research and how to conduct the research. Very important. So especially in my speech, I am planning to discuss how to conduct a smart survey. So normally students, so in the A levels or maybe O level students also, they are doing small surveys. But especially as undergraduate students, I am planning to discuss how to do a smart survey. Okay, so if you are going to do a smart survey, you have to follow some statistical methods. So I am planning to discuss that methods also. Additionally, I plan to discuss some statistical techniques. We can use Minitab or maybe SPSS softwares for statistical analysis. Additional, these days we have R, Python, especially CIS students. I think some of the CIS students are also here. So most of the CIS final students, they are doing research with us. So especially we are recommended Python and Veka Python like the statistical softwares also. So okay. Especially in the research field is, as I told, statistics. See, for example, the social science students also studying statistics. So management students also studying statistics. But why we need statistics? This is very important. Why we need statistics? See, as actually I told previously, the mainly the statistics. Yes.
So I think the presentation is not shared.
Now can you see? Hello?
No, sir. Still,
Can you?
still
Hello?
can't, sir. Now it's okay, sir.
And Ashini, please mute others.
Okay, sir.
So as I told, under this, the research field, we need statistic. The reason is, as I told, the management students, they are studying statistics. Agri field, maybe social science field, they are studying even medical science, maybe engineering, they are studying statistics. Why? The reason is, see, so why we need statistic? Reason is all these researchers, the maybe engineering, maybe science field, or maybe management field, they are collecting data. So by using statistical techniques, what we are doing, by using statistical techniques, we are converting maybe the charts, maybe graphs, maybe charts, or maybe maybe some statistical report. See now, so the data, if we convert to the information, anybody can understand. So that's why we are calling statistics is the way to get information from data. So some of the students, they are doing very good research projects, but see, so if they can't do good analysis, if they can't do good analysis, so no, and nobody. Hello, I think. Okay, so especially. So if we can present our data as maybe bar chart, maybe pie chart, maybe statistical reports, anybody can understand. So that's why especially statistics. So we are changing information, we are converting information to the data. So we'll see during my presentation, I will say, I will explain how to do that one. So as I told, the data. So especially if you are doing data, maybe the collecting data, we have different methods to collect data. So maybe we can collect data as a primary data. I will explain what is called primary data. Or maybe we are collecting data as a secondary data. Anyway, so the primary and secondary very important. The reason is, so if you are doing a research, some students, some researchers, they are collecting primary data. What is called primary data? See, the primary data means maybe some of the students, some of the researchers, they are collecting their data as a first-hand experience data. For what is called first-hand experience data, it means, see, maybe based on the questionnaires. So we assume sports science students, they need to do a survey, especially based on the athletes in the sport field. So what they are doing, they are preparing a questionnaire and they are going for the field. Then they are collecting data. After collect data, they are coming back to university and they are analyzing. See, now the data that they are first-hand experience data, or maybe chemistry, physics, or maybe first-hand experience data. So the researchers. So maybe based on the diaries, maybe portfolios, maybe based on the observation, especially in our research projects, based on the observations, they are collecting data. So like first-hand experience data, we are calling primary data. Okay, so then, so I know especially this and some data sources, maybe World Bank database, or maybe Kaggle, or like different data sources we have. So they are collecting data based on the already published data sources. So they are called secondary data. Especially very important thing as a researcher, first we need to identify our data source. So based on the objective, I will explain more briefly later. So after the prepare the objectives, we need to define our data collecting way. So maybe if we are going for the primary data way, so primary data, we have different techniques for analyzing our data. If we are going for the secondary data, we have different method. So the primary and secondary the methods data. So this data, very important thing. So important thing after collect the primary and secondary data. See the primary and secondary data. So as a researcher, especially we need to identify them. So especially we need to identify them based on the we can collect as a numbers. We know, so we based on the questionnaire, we are asking the age. Maybe based on the questionnaire, we are asking their weight, or maybe see the data we are getting as a numbers. So they are called numerical data. See, some of the data we are gathering as a numbers. So they are called numerical data. Also, very important thing, some of the data we can collect as a word. See, for example, we are asking the gender, male. So maybe blood type. See, blood type may be O positive, O negative. See, that data, they are coming as very important thing, especially, if you are handling data, first thing you need to identify they are numerical or they are categorical. Very important thing. If they are numerical, as I told, the numerical means the data coming as a numbers. Again, we are divided into two as continuous and discrete. I will explain more briefly later. So if they are coming as a words, we are dividing them as a ordinal and nominal. Okay. Especially the numerical data, the data coming as a numbers, we are dividing into two, continuous and discrete. What is called continuous data? The continuous data means, so the data, so actually we have infinite chances to present that data. See, for example, just see the weight of the students. Okay, see, we assume weight of the student. Why I say the infinite options we have? See, maybe I can say, I can round up to near integer and I can say 50 kgs. Or maybe, so if I need to say up to one decimal point, we can say 50.5 kg. Or maybe we can say 50.52. See, so based on the based on our requirements, we can represent data with the different ways. So based on the numbers, they are called continuous data. See, so some of the examples are time takes to get to school, maybe time takes to get the to university, or maybe dormitory, maybe 5 minutes, maybe five numerical data. Also, then so continuous data. Also, we have the discrete data, the continuous and discrete. The discrete data means, see, just we can represent the data as the integers. See, for example, number of students in this webinar. Exactly, we can say 294. The number of vehicles passes through the Pamina Junction during lunchtime. Exactly, we can say 10 vehicles, 20 vehicles, or like, or maybe, okay, so like, see, especially, so if we can, okay, so we assume, so this in this webinar, we need to get a count how many students from the NR, how many students from the PST, CIS, like, see, exactly we can say, so maybe 50 students from the PST, 60 students from the NR. See, like if the data, they are called discrete data. See, now see, so we have two cases. So if we can represent as the okay, so if we can represent as the infinite, if we can represent as the okay, say, so infinite options we are calling continuous. If we can represent as the only finite options, we are calling discrete. Also, very important thing, see, so now you know this part, especially if we are gathering data as the numbers. So we have two things, continuous and discrete. Also, some of the data coming as a word. As I told, see, so students, they are doing their research projects based on the sensory evaluations. See, so especially if the practical experiments going with the sensory evaluations, like the sensory evaluations, so they are coming as words. So like that data, we are dividing into two, as ordinal and nominal. Okay, so what is called nominal? First, I will explain nominal first. See, the nominal means, see, the no hierarchy in the categorical data. See, the no hierarchy in the categorical data. See, for example, I am asking, what is your font type? See, Samsung, Motorola. See, no, we can put 1, 2, 3, 4 iPhone, Samsung, and Moto. So also, see, so I'm asking another question from the audience, and I am asking, what is your transportation way to university? Maybe some of the students, they are saying we are coming by bus. These are some of them coming by trains or maybe cars. See, no hierarchy between the answers. So like that data we are calling nominal data. Okay. So next one is we are calling ordinal, especially food science students, as I told. See, they are doing some sensory evaluations. See, for example, we assume and they need to know the taste. So they are going to the audience and they are getting feedback. See, now their answers. So coming with strongly disagree to strongly agree. See, or maybe 5 Likert scale or maybe 10 Likert scale. So like that data, see, especially we can see strongly disagree to strongly agree. We can see a flow. We can see a flow. So like that data, if the data set has a hierarchy, see, if the data set has a hierarchy, they are called ordinal data. So anyway, for example, so I am asking, so we are asking the educational background. See, we are doing a survey in the Pamahin area, and we need to know their educational background. See, so you see the answers we are giving from elementary to graduate level. See, now we can see answers as a clear hierarchy. If we quote one as elementary, so definitely next the 2 we need to give for the high school, 3, 4 we need to give for the undergraduates, and 4 need to give for the graduates. See, so especially the answers has a hierarchy. So if the answers has a hierarchy, they are called ordinal data. So as now, so we are getting data with different ways, and this data the ordinal and nominal. Okay, so now, so as I told, especially the first year to 4th year students, so very important thing is doing a survey. So anyway, based on the surveys, we are collecting data. Okay, so that survey, so maybe we can go with I will explain how to do a smart survey. Okay, so how to do a smart survey? See, the mainly the conducting a smart survey. A very important thing, we need to follow some steps. The mainly we need to define, or we need to, so clearly we need to define our research goals. Then based on the research goals, we need to create our objectives. We need to create our hypotheses. We need to create our questionnaires. Then we need to select proper participants. So to give our data, the questionnaires, then we need to get the responses from the audience, then we need to do analysis, then finally we need to write a report. So especially if we are conducting a smart survey, we need to follow all these steps clearly. So today mainly, as I told, now you know, so based on the service, you know, as I explained, we are collecting data. This data collecting way, so I am explaining one by one, especially if we are doing research. Very important thing is what we are doing. The first thing is we need to define our research goals. So especially we need to define our research goals. The research goals, it doesn't matter you are doing scientific method or you are doing survey method, you need to define your research goals clearly. So especially the research goals depend with your the purpose of doing research. See, for example, I will explain a small case study. See, for example, the 2 years back, one of the leading IT company, they told they have a small problem. So they have actually the serious problem. So most of their IT, the software engineers, they are leaving their companies after 40-45 years. So they told they need to know what are the reasons. So what we did, so we did a research with the CIC students, actually my research group, the first thing is we discuss with the IT company, and we define we got their research problem. So that's why I told, if you are doing a research, first thing, clearly you need to listen to the audience, and you need to understand their requirements. So what type of problems they need. So especially sports science students also doing no research. See, for example, we assume they need to do a research. The first thing they need to do, especially for the sport school, the school athletes. So maybe there's economical, socio-economic impact for the sports. See what they are doing. First thing, they need to identify the question. So based on the question, see what we are doing. See, based on the question, so we need to define our objectives. Very important thing. We need to define our objectives. I will. So then we need to define our objectives. Also, the same time, very important thing. Most of the students actually so very lazy to do this one. You need to. So based on the research questions, you need to find some published articles. So maybe easily you can find it from the internet. No, so you need to find some good articles, and you need to read them clearly, and you need to identify. You need to understand. So what type of methods they use to solve like this problem. So it's very easy to conduct your research. So the main thing, you need to identify your research goals. So you need to, based on the research goals, you need to define your objectives. So at the same time, better to read more papers, maybe scientific papers, and you need to understand what type of techniques they use. Then we can prepare our questionnaire. Very important thing, after prepare questionnaire, see maybe the questionnaire preparation also very important. I told no, so mainly, so we assume this is our research question. So based on the research questions, we can define, okay, so first one, research question. Research, based on the research questions, we can define our objectives. So please try to understand objectives. Okay, so based on the objectives, we can define our hypothesis. See, for example, I will come one by one. See, the research question is, as I told, so the IT, okay, so leading IT company, they have, okay, they have a doubt. The reason is most of their senior software engineers, they are leaving from their company after 40. So this is their question. So what they are doing, they are defining their objectives. So the objectives may be why they are leaving. So they assume they are leaving, so mainly because of the unsatisfaction. So unsatisfaction depend with maybe the salary, or maybe educational level, or maybe gender. See, like, so now, so based on the question, we can define our objectives. So then, based on the objectives, we can define our hypothesis. Actually, what we want to do now, so now we have objectives. So based on the objectives, we have hypothesis. So then under the hypothesis, we can define our questions. Okay, see, anyway, see, now we assume this is our questionnaire. So we see this is our questionnaire. So we have a lot of questions. Now we need to select correct group to give our questionnaire. So that's why very important thing is you need to identify your population of the study as well as the samples. Okay, so first thing, okay, so I use two words, the population and the sample. Okay, see, I will explain, especially I will explain first population. The population means, see now, so we assume this company, they need to give a, okay, see, so we assume this, so we are doing a research and say we need to give we need to know how about the IT knowledge of the first year students. Okay, see now the entire group is we are calling population. So we assume 2021, 2022 entire group, all the entire group we are calling population. So this population, see, so maybe sometimes very large. See, that's why I told the population is a set of all individuals in interest in a particular study. Sometimes the population is very large. So sometimes maybe 10,000, maybe 20,000, maybe sometimes more than 1 lakh. See, the population is very large. So, so sometimes the population is infinite, sometimes so maybe finite but very large. So especially so that's sometimes finite, but large. Sometimes it is very see, especially the undergraduate research projects we can't do so based on the based on our large population. The reason is sometimes so you have limited time to do your research. Maybe the final year just only 3 or 4 months. The sports science they have just only 4 or 5. The CIS students, they are lucky, they have 1 year. So based on our time and maybe based on our the economical background, so sometimes we can't go for the population to collect our data. So that's especially the if we are doing a research, so the first thing is based on the population we are defining sample. The actual sample is, you can see clearly, see, it is not a whole population, but it's a subset of the population. Okay, see, subset of the population. See, for example, we assume, so we need to know how about the social media users, the feedback for the new cabinet. See, so the population is very large. So what we are doing, maybe randomly we can select some group who are using Facebook. Maybe we can select another group. Randomly we can select who are using Twitter and maybe WhatsApp or like emo or something. See now, so the so doing a research is we can go with the not a, okay, see, sometimes this subset very important thing. This the subset. See now this is our population. Okay, this is our population. See, sometimes so we can't select. See, sometimes especially industries they are using 100 inspection. See, for example, especially this some of the companies, apparel industries, they are doing 100 inspection. It means they are selecting all the numbers in the population and they are doing research. But it's not easy. As I told, sometimes the population is very large, so it's not easy to handle all the numbers in our population. So that's why we are going for the sampling inspection. The sampling method is very important, but we need to do it very clearly. We need to define our sampling method very clearly when we are doing a research. The sampling method, the reason is, see, if we did any mistake in the sampling method, the whole research so going to the worst directions. So that's why especially we need to follow correct method to select sample. The reason is, so if we did some mistakes during our sampling methods, sometimes it's not good for the company, sometimes it's not good for the customers. See, for example, we assume like this. We have 2 samples. we have two samples. See, so the first case, see, we assume the cross case means the defectives. Yes, these are the defectives, and these are the okay. Maybe we assume the high quality products. See, so because of okay, so the what the researcher doing is collecting sample from this group. See what happened. Actually, most of them are actually under the high quality, but because of the poor sampling method, they are selecting this so bad lot. So it's not good for the company, because reason is if they found the bad lot, they need to reject whole the case. So this is called producer risk. So the risk mainly going for the producer, the company. Also, sometimes we assume like, see, sometimes, so few items are bad. Okay, we assume like so the cross mark means bad load. Okay, so now what happened? See, they are collecting. Okay, so they are collecting items. See, we assume they are selecting sample. See, we assume like, so most of them are under the disqualified quality. See, but see, they are selecting sample. See, like, see now what happened. See, the most of them are items are not under good quality, but because of the statisticians, the poor the sampling method, they are selecting good load, only good load, and they are accepting. So directly this accepting not going for the users, it's not good for the actually customers. So they are called consumer risk. So that's why, especially if you are doing a mini project or fourth year final year research project, so especially sports science student, so if you are doing a research, very important thing, you need to select the sample very clearly. Because in the sampling type, if we did some mistake, if we or in the questionnaire prepare in time, if we did some mistake, so whole case is going to the worst direction. So that's why we need to carefully, we need to follow the proper methods to select our samples and make our questionnaires. Okay, so then, okay, so especially the sampling methods, we have two different methods, the probability sampling and non-probability sampling. The mainly, especially undergraduate, most of the undergraduate projects based on the probability sampling. So under the probability sampling, we have simple random sampling method. I will explain. Maybe stratified random sampling method, maybe cluster sampling, systematic. We have like so different sampling methods. So based on our requirements, we can select the correct sampling method for our research. In my lectures also I am explaining. So especially for the first year and second year students, I will explain this part. So especially simple random sampling means, so without any the statistical method, without any flavoration, we are selecting samples. See, for example, we assume I need to select 10 students from this group. See, without any flavoration, see, I can select some of the students from this group, and I can say this. So these are my sample. So it means if you want to going for the research without any flavoration, if we are selecting the observations, we are calling simple random sampling method. Simple random sampling method without any flavoration, we are selecting our sample. So we are calling simple random sampling method. But so the simple random sampling method is not easy, especially only with the large population. And one next case is, okay, so selected sample size is also very important. The reason is we assume this is our population. Now, I think especially the first and second students, they have doubt how to select the number. So based on the sample. So especially, so to select the sample size, we are using this formula. See, mainly the sample size depend with the population size, as well as confidence intervals, as well as standard deviation. So this the Z score, the confidence intervals and the standard deviation, we can select, we can define based on our available requirement. Then we can go for the sample. Anyway, see the nodes. If we are doing a good research, we need to select at least 10% of our population, at least 10. But this at least means we can go beyond 10, maybe 20, 30 or 40 at least. But if you are doing a good research, at least we need to select 10%, and the sample size need to be greater than 30. So it means the population size is 300. It means sample size is maybe at least more than 30. So this is the main requirement. Then see, so basically, for example, so first if we define our confidence intervals and standard deviation and other, clearly we can define our sample sizes. The second case is, see, the most of the sports science as well as NR research projects, so sometimes they are not the homogeneous. What is called homogeneous? See? Okay, I will give a small example. We assume we need to know the IT knowledge of the first year students, not the same IT knowledge, but it's not true. No, I know especially the applied science students, their IT knowledge is so different, especially than the social science and the management student. So maybe the medical science students have the less IT knowledge than the computer science. Previously we assumed their IT knowledge is same. Then what we did, we divide them into subpopulations with a homogeneous part. It means based on their knowledge, we divide them as the faculty wise. Now see, so our population we divide into subpopulations. So they are called starters. Then we can select randomly, we can select from the population. See? So we can select from this group. We can select from this group. We can select from this group. So it is called stratified random sampling method. So basically, stratified random sampling is the good approach if you are doing a research with the homogeneous and non-homogeneous groups. And very important thing is we are dividing them without any overlapping. Okay, so the second one, okay, the next one is we are calling systematic sampling method. The systematic sampling method means, see, sometimes some of the, say, especially, you know, so if you are the agriculture student or maybe NR students, they are going to the field and they are collecting data. Okay, we assume they are cultivating some the land area and they need to collect some data. So agriculture students, we assume they are going to the field and getting. So because of the flooding or something, some of the data missing, especially like if we have many missing observations, very important. If we missing some observations, we are going for the systematic sampling method. Okay, and very important thing is sometimes, so based on the special characteristics, we can divide our population. See, for example, based on the educational levels or make impact. maybe based on their so we clusters. The clusters also, this is a huge topic, but I explained few things. See how to define our objectives, how to define your research questions, then how to define your objectives, so how to define your hypothesis. Then I explain how to define your population as well as how to define your sample. Okay, so especially the first year and second year students, because obviously third year and fourth year they are doing research now, especially any dips in the questionnaire or maybe based on the other types. So please let me know. We can define we can discuss with your we can discuss your research questions, then we can define now your objectives, so you can go for the good literature survey. So then you can prepare a questionnaire, we can collect data from the audience, then we can do a actually we can do research, collect data, and we can do analysis as LD students. Don't waste your time. So if you have a time, please join with us. We can do a small research. Maybe get support from your seniors, and we can do a research anytime. If you want to do a research, so discuss with us. We can give maybe food science students, they can collect data from the audience, or maybe the NR students, maybe physical science, or maybe the special CIC students. And so if they, or sports science, if you have any problems, you can discuss with us. You can do a small the research. See, so as I told, see the defining objectives is very important. That's why I told. So see, so the previous case I told, no, see, we saw some problem with the IT industry. Their requirements, we define objectives. So then after charcation, like the center tendencies, how to find the variations, variabilities, we are explaining, or maybe how to check the normality. So we explain, especially under the advanced statistic 1 and advanced statistic 2, we are explaining what type of statistical methods we have. You know now, especially second year and third year students, they know we can use the regressions, or maybe we can use maybe the other statistical techniques, especially third year and the fourth year, we are explaining how to use real applications. So that's why the CIC students, maybe PhD students, so in data and they are doing. So mainly we have different techniques. Maybe as I told, we can use maybe data classification methods, maybe tables, maybe frequency distributions, maybe plots. So we have different techniques. Also, where maybe we have bar charts, maybe pie charts. So I can do one thing. Okay, so if we like to, especially the student union, they like to continue this workshop, I can send one software for you guys. So you can install it easily. Trigger session. So just, so I can explain, we have under the center tendencies, we have mean, median, mode. So under the tables, we have frequency distributions. But practically, if you want to do, so maybe next session we can do, I can send a software and I can send the data set, we can do. Okay, so as I told, we have different techniques. So numerical and categorical data, especially if we have categorical data, we are using contingency table. Categorical data means I told no the data coming as a words. No, so see some of the data. See, for example, we assume I'm asking the question. How about okay, we assume we assume the drinking preferences with their age. See, so we assume so they are coming as a categorical data. See, the soda, maybe coffee, tea, water. See, so and we are considering the age categories 20 to 29, 30 to 39. See now, so we collect data from 100 people. See, now we need to know, is there any relationship between the age categories as well as their drinking preferences? See, now clearly we can see that's why I told very important thing, defining hypothesis. See now what is relationship between preference and the date. So can define an objective. The students, the preference. So now what we hypothesis and we try relationship between. So that's why I told mainly you need to, and you, so based on the objectives you can define your hypothesis. Okay, so then, so we have some statistical method, especially we are using contingency tables. We'll do some practical session and I will explain what is contingency table and how to apply them. Additionally, I told no, so today I'm going to show some the ways. So I told no, so the first we need to define, we are using the primary data or secondary data, especially if you are using primary data. See, so first thing, the primary data maybe lab, so maybe the data very important for sports science students, very important because they are doing a lot of research projects based on the questionnaire type. See, so first thing you need to check the questionnaire is validated or not. What is called validated? Very important thing. Validated means, see, so sometimes the questionnaires you are getting from the internet. It means that the questionnaires already prepared and they did a survey, so they already validated. So they are called validated questionnaires. Some questionnaires, see, we are making ourselves that questionnaires. We need to check the reliability. See, reliability means how our questionnaire reliable for our audience. So we have some techniques, especially we are using from back alpha method, and we can check it. Okay, so for the analysis, we have different takes, especially third and fourth students know we can go for the regressions. Okay, so especially see, we can go for the regressions or maybe correlations. We can do analysis. Okay, so time by time, so we will correlated with each other, or we have Pearson method, spearman ranking method, or we can go for the regression. the simplest way is the regression methods. Oh, so actually, so today just I explained few techniques. Maybe we can go for the regressions and we can explain the methods. So the few things, especially is actually I explained very few the concept. The researchers said that most of them are first year and second year students. Especially this workshop, I conduct to explain so what are the research. Especially use it doesn't matter you are coming for the CIS or sports science or whatever. So if you are like to do a research, please join with us. So we have research groups. So especially a lot of the research the staff members they are doing research. So we have research groups. We can do small art in a newspaper or in a conference. It means it's kind of a big achievement for your academic life. So especially first year, second year students, don't waste time. So please join with us and do a research, especially third year and fourth year. So obviously you are doing research, no? So please try to apply the proper statistical concepts for your research projects. As I told so from the very beginning, the research from the defining research goals to the collecting data and analyzing part, try to apply techniques. So then we can do the marvelous research outputs for the audience. Okay, so especially today I just explained few concepts, and I know within 1 hour, 1.5 we can't explain all the techniques, but step by step. So next time we can apply physically we can arrange a workshop in a computer lab, and we can do so we can explain what type of softwares we have, especially as I told. So very basically Minitab, SPSS, then especially computer science students Veka tools, so maybe Python we can explain, we can introduce. Okay, so thank you very much for this, especially the student union. I think this is a so actually nice effort they start to make this culture, especially in the faculty. On behalf of the faculty, I really appreciate their effort, and we see time by time we'll develop this webinar series, and we'll try to apply many techniques, many concepts for your research project. So again, I am saying if you want to do any research anytime, please contact me. So most of them have okay, so my number. Otherwise, I will put into chat. Okay, so especially first year and second year students, they don't know my number, no? So not 7163245164. You can email me at ppsc.sab. So anytime you can, so we give another email. So discuss with me, so we can do that. I hope, or if you have case studies, please let me know. We can discuss case studies in the coming webinar series. Okay, so this is just a start, and in the future we'll see to do a good another workshop with a practical session. So thank you very much for the organizers. Hello. from the union, anybody's here?
Let me thank you, sir, on behalf of the organizing committee, the academic subcommittee, Students' Union, Faculty of Applied Sciences of Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. Thank you, Professor Alan
Hello.
K.T. Rapp, for your wonderful and knowledgeable session. And I think that we all got a good knowledge throughout this session. Let me thank you once again, sir. Let me thank you all the people who supported and guided to make this event a success, especially our speaker today. Thank you very much, sir, for your contribution and time. Once again, thank you for the organizing committee, academic subcommittee of Students' Union, Faculty of Applied Sciences, Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, and the technical team. Last but not least, without you, we cannot conduct a successful event like this. So this will mark the end of our third webinar. Before ending our webinar, if you have any questions, you may ask from our resource person. It is time for the question and answer session. Thank you very much, sir.
And one more thing, as I told, we can arrange another session maybe next month or after 2-3 sessions after, especially the practical session. So before practical session, I will send software, maybe a spaces or Minitab. You can install it for your computers. And if you have some case studies, send it to me early. We can discuss that case studies. Otherwise, I will send some case studies, and we, especially first year, second year students, will do some small analysis. And if you somebody like to do write a papers, please so discuss it with us.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much, sir. If you have any questions, now you can send in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask from our sir.
Okay, Ishan, so you ask, give me 1 second. What are the actions that can be taken to conduct research to minimize the problem of the data collection is? Yes, as I told, especially to minimize the error you want to do, to minimize, you need to define your research goals. So our curriculum, we can define our thing. We need to define our population. Then we, as I told, we need so maybe simple random sampling or stratified clustering for the survey. And what we are doing some the pilot surveys means actually, you know, the so after the preparing after the make our questionnaire to experts. See, for example, maybe you can give for your supervisors, or maybe you can give for your lecturers, and you can get feedbacks. Then, so then what we are doing? So we are selecting the few numbers, maybe at least 10-15 numbers, the few numbers, and we are giving it. It is called the pilot survey. The pilot survey we are giving for them, and we can get feedback. So then we can do a small analysis, and we can check actually the questionnaire is fine or not. If they are otherwise full survey. So this is the main step. So we are following. Especially especially first year, second year students, as I told, we will start to respond, especially sports science and other the students. If you're interested to do a research, come with us. So many lecturers willing to join with your team. Yes, you know, especially some of the researchers, what they are doing, they are using already published questionnaires. So like that questionnaires, no need to do anything. They are validated, already validated. What we want to do, just we need to mention it in our. So we need to mention it our the thesis or research report or whatever. But you know, but so like the validated questionnaires, so no matter we can go. So but you know, especially if you prepare questionnaire, you need to go to reliability and you need to do a pilot survey and you need to do a reliability. Yes. Okay, so I think it's better to wind up, no? So we'll do another session maybe later.
So that will mark the end of our third webinar. Again, thank you very much, sir, and all the participants. We are hoping to again meet you in another good time. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much to invite me again. Thank you very much, student.